Good evening. Tonight I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on how to write a Christmas carol. I've written Christmas carols over a number of years. I currently have a collection of 8 Christmas carols that I'm releasing for 2020. I'll put a link to those below. It's called New Sacred Christmas Carols for 2020 or something like that. But anyway, I'm going to play a Christmas carol I wrote and then talk a little bit about some of the approaches I take to write Christmas carols. You know, I see other videos on YouTube how to write a Christmas carol. I've enjoyed every one I've seen, so I thought I'd give my take. I've enjoyed writing Christmas carols over the years, and I certainly love Christmas. The Christmas carol I'm going to start with is called Candlelight Carol. It's short and simple. That's one of the reasons I picked it to play and talk about. And also it has a definite theme, an image it tries to convey, which is that of a candlelight Christmas, particularly Christmas Eve service in church, but just the association of Christmas with candlelights, the magic of Christmas Eve and candlelights. So I hope you like it. It's called Candlelight Carol. First I'll play it, then I'll talk a little bit about the approach I took in this song.
In the darkness of the night, see the candle burning bright. How the golden flame does shine, symbol of pure love divine. Pass the candle to and fro, see the faces all aglow. As the choir begins to sing carols to the King. See the candles by the tree shine on the nativity. Shepherds bowed in humble prayer, angels singing in the air. Still we hold the candle flame, all one body, all one name. The love we share and still believe, born this Christmas Eve. Light of Christmas be our guide, hand in hand and side by side. Shine your light o'er all the earth, tell the world of Jesus' birth. And from our circle in this hall, may true peace come over all. Keep the candle burning bright every Christmas night. Keep the candle burning bright every Christmas night.
Well, that was Candlelight Carol. I hope you enjoyed that. I picked it because it's simple, it's short, and it has a focus and sort of a theme, which is the Christmas Candlelight Association, particularly with Christmas candlelight services on Christmas Eve. So that's why I picked it. And let me just say a little bit about the carol and some of the things that I tried to do when I wrote it, however successfully. When I write, I think of some of the different carols. I try not to copy a carol directly, obviously, but I do kind of think about some of the different types of carols. You have sort of the Santa Claus, Rudolph carols that are often kind of jingle bellsy, and I love those. Those are great. You have kind of the hymns like Hark the Herald Angels Sing. But some of my favorite carols are kind of the childlike, almost like lullaby carols, and that's kind of what I emulated. And I would say that Silent Night, Away in a Manger, some of those songs that are very kind of simple are almost like lullaby carols, or candlelight carols, something you'd sing in a group. And I was envisioning a carol for a situation. You know, you have sort of Sunday morning carols, family carols, when you're with your family, Christmas morning carols. But I was thinking of Christmas Eve and the candlelight service that they have at so many churches where you light the candles. And I was trying to think of a nice carol that kind of went with Christmas Eve candlelight services. So I kind of started it just with that idea that I want, that was, every song should have an idea. And I was kind of thinking of a carol that would be a candlelight carol that, would accompany a Christmas Eve, that kind of mystical, quiet, reverent, but kind of magical feeling of Christmas Eve night, which is so special. So I tried to write it, and that's what I was trying to write. And sometimes when I start writing a song like that, I just thumb around. So I just kind of, there's nothing to that. These are D chords, G chords, A chords. That's all it is. If you play guitar, I do have a capo on it, but I'm using the term for the chord shapes. But just D, G, A. And I went around with that for a long time, and it's surprisingly difficult to write a simple song. That's like Silent Night or Edelweiss, or I don't know, just When You Wish Upon a Star. A lot of those songs sound so simple, and you try to come up with something that's that pleasant and simple. It's not simple, actually, but that's what I was kind of shooting for. And I would just sit in the chair sometimes, just while I watch a TV show or something, and just kind of hum and try to and keep kind of, when you do that a lot, you kind of come up with ideas, and it's kind of meandering and doesn't really have form. But after a while, if you keep doing it, a lot of times you'll start to settle on a tune, and that's what I did with that. I remember singing it in the car, dee 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 dee, and it took me a while. Dee 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 dee. It took me a while to come up with that tune, but when I finally did and I hummed it, sometimes when that happens to you, you forget. So I hummed it into my phone just so I could remember it. And once I had the tune, and it felt like a kind of a candlelight feeling tune, one that you could play with guitar. That took me a while, not because it was so complicated or anything, but just to kind of let it gel and come up with that tune, dee 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 dee, and that. But that's what I would recommend doing. I took walks. I would kind of hum, and like I said, when I was driving in my car, I kind of started I don't know, it just kind of. I'd been thinking about it a while, and I had sort of different versions. The other thing, of course, once you have that, you have to think of songs. Now, I knew I wanted to be a candlelight carol, so I had, a theme. I wasn't just kind of throwing darts at the wall, hoping something would stick to the target. I did have a theme, which I think is important. But I guess one comment I would have from whatever experience I've had writing Christmas carols is don't shy away from cliches. If you're writing a traditional Christmas carol, be traditional. So I was writing a candlelight Christmas carol, and I thought of everything I could think of. I've been a church musician for several decades, so I just thought of every beautiful thing I could think of about the Christmas Eve service. The candles, the circle, the feeling of the service. And I put it all in there, and I tried to make it rhyme with the tune. And the tune was so simple that I didn't really have to struggle with the meter, or But I just thought of a lot. In the darkness of the night, see the candle burning bright. I mean, that's almost a little childlike song. How the golden flame does shine, symbol of pure love divine. Pass the candle to and fro, see the faces all aglow, as the choir begins to sing carols to the King. And I wrote that, and then I wrote a second verse. See the candles by the tree shine on the nativity. So many churches will have a tree and a nativity. And when you light the lights on Christmas Eve, a lot of times the candles, then you turn the house lights off in the sanctuary. Shepherds bowed in humble prayer, angels singing in the air. Still we hold the candle flame, all one body, all one name. The love we share and still believe, born this Christmas Eve. Nothing, I just was trying to capture that feeling of the group on Christmas. Then the third verse is, light of Christmas, be our guide, hand in hand and side by side. Shine your light o'er all the earth, tell the world of Jesus' birth. And from our circle in this hall, may true peace come over all. Keep the candle burning bright every Christmas night. And I thought about, sometimes I have a habit of being long-winded, but I came up with those 3 verses. I was satisfied with them. And the song itself was so simple. So I kept it at 3 verses. It's very short. But those were my kind of takeaways from the process. I've got other types of carols. Maybe I'll do some more of these. But that type of carol to me was a lullaby carol. And one of the hardest things to do was just coming up with a simple kind of sing-song tune that you could almost sing to a baby. And that took a while. I just kind of would thumb the guitar and kind of hum. And a lot of times when you do that, if you've been playing a long time, everything will sound all right, but you kind of have to come up with something that starts to become coherent and gel. And then I had an idea. I wanted to write a carol about Christmas Eve candlelight services, and which is really always such a beautiful time at Christmas. And then I just made the lyrics what I hope were appropriate to the Christmas Eve candlelight service. Final thing I'll say is, for me, I wasn't afraid. Christmas is a sacred season. So some people would say, maybe a little bit of Santa Claus or Jingle Bells or Ho 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 or something, but avoid the religious aspect. But to me, and I love the more the more seasonal favorites. I'm not but I wanted to write a sacred Christmas carol that had the religious, sacred, traditional message of Christmas in it. And so those were my takeaways. Write a simple song. Think of what you're trying to write about. Are you trying to write about people opening gifts? Are you trying to, think of something that can kind of be the point of your song. That's always good to do anyway, And just think of something about Christmas. Silver bells. That's about silver bells, and hearing them in the city. It's a great. But every great song has some kind of topical focus, and so one of the things I guess, is come up with a nice little tune, know what your topical focus is. You're trying to write about shopping, church, family, Santa. All those things are great subjects, obviously. And try to say it in a new way, but keep it simple. And that might be the hardest thing of all, and try to write pretty lyrics. So I hope you like that, Carol. I think I'll do some more of these, because I love Christmas music, and I've written some, and I don't know, with coronavirus, we might not. I usually play different programs and things over the holidays, but I hope you like that carol. And if you like to write songs, I hope some of my comments were interesting to you and you found them worthwhile. God bless you, and Merry Christmas. Early Merry Christmas 2020. We need it, don't we? Merry Christmas.